Story about the first ever homeless Prime Minister. To avoid being kidnapped by a gangster because his bickering made him homeless, briano Alliano went to the library every day to join the Parliament conversation, and some people think he is a shy, stupid, retarded, medication-taking dickhead who doesn't know anything. But some of his views are quite amazing. And one day, Briano's mobile rang, and the Prime Minister wanted him to join Parliament. And for a while, Briano hid these homeless, saying he was living with his girlfriend, which was half true because he spent every weekend there. But briano Alliano was so happy with joining Parliament, but when he arrived, briano Alliano asked John Howard how much money would he earn. And John said, "You give us advice and we'll shout your drink. No money involved." But briano Alliano accepted that because he was raised to take the job he was given. And that was on his mind anyway. The first say for Briano in Parliament, John laid down his first idea. How about we put poor people in a special home so no big bad man can catch them? Because have you seen their houses? It's dirty. And in Parliament, Briano jumped up and said, "Yes, and do you know why these poor people's houses are messy? Because they have mental illness or some other kind of illnesses. And they need scum like you to give them a bit of slack. How would you like it if I became Prime Minister and knocked you out of Kirribilli House because you were too busy fucking the poor rather than weeding every blade of grass?" Then John Howard said, "Let's cut the pension. You see, we want more people out working. Mental illness is a sham." Briano Alliano told John, "If you cut the pension, John, how the blue blazers are the poor people going to pay their rents or bills? And listen, you scum dickhead, do you really think only wealthy people should see a show or concert or anything else?" And John said, "They're the ones that deserve it." And Briano Alliano said, "Why? Because they sit in their air-conditioned offices, bossing the hard-working gardeners and cleaners. And mind you, what about the bar staff? And why shouldn't there be tough security guards in nightclubs instead of gullible, fat Rod Gordon? Did you see the news the other night? Johnny, a teenager, had a knife. And old gullible Rod said, 'Can you please give me your gun? Don't fight. I don't want to fight you, but you are disturbing the peace.' That is stupid. Why don't you put fitter, slimmer and tougher security guards on, who are not gullible in the fact that armed bandits will be stopped by a simple please and thank you? That is so lame." John said, "I can't really help in that way. Our budget is too tight because we have to buy nuclear weapons so we can protect Australia from Iraq, and so we can by exploding it. So you decide to scrap partying and having fun," Briano said, which I call peace. And John said, I prefer to go overseas and bomb Iraq so we can stop the Iraqians from bombing us." And Briano said, "That is war." John Howard said, "I am not leaving Parliament and I'm not working for you. Piss off." That night, Briano Alliano tied himself up with an extension cord to keep him safe and warm. He figured if people saw him tied up, they won't kidnap him the next morning. Briano Alliano was shocked when the Labour Party asked if he could join their team and not as a volunteer to do what they say. A real person, yes, they knew Briano was homeless, but this will be a great way to win a poor vote, bringing in a homeless man to show how they build towards the big smoke. Yes, Briano Alliano was leader in 2 months. Briano Alliano will soon be the first homeless Prime Minister in Australia. Yes, that was pretty good, and I think personally that if Briano Alliano puts his best foot forward, he will make it in to being the first ever Prime Minister. Homeless.